Hey, greetings, comic fans out there. This is writer Ron Fortier, joined by my colleagues, letterer supreme and fellow artist Mike Belcher out of Kentucky, and from Missouri, the man himself, Chief Engineer Rob Davis. And we're here to tell you about the new Silverline Kickstarter campaign, which features the second issue of two amazing series. First being Steam Patriots, by our partners Scott Wakefield and Rory Boyle. And the second, the one that we're intimately involved with, Beyond the Stars #2, which I had the fun of writing. It's a great science fiction book and pulls out all the stops. It's the old classic pulp stuff like space operas. Sadly, the one person who should be joining us for this little promotion is the man himself, our artist, penciler, colorist, do-it-all, Mr. Andrea Bormida of Italy. But of course, getting him here at a certain time or whatever, he's probably cutting a lot of Z's right now, my friends.
Or at least in the middle of the afternoon, depending on where he is in Italy, I guess. But
right. But just Andrea needs to know that we send out a big shout out to him. Hey, look, this series has been a surprise to me. I ran across Andrea on a social media site and absolutely loved his work. I've got a pseudo background in writing sci-fi comics, starting from the first one I did for Charlton years ago, almost 50 years ago, and then did Terminator for a while and ultimately moved off to Gene Roddenberry's Lost Universe. So when I saw Andrea's illustrations of these science fiction figures and a spaceship with solar sails, I was hooked. That did it for me, all right? Contacting Andrea, he sent me some of the characters he designed, and from that, this story was born. It's a 6-issue miniseries. Now, here's the kicker, which I love, and especially working with Mike here. I finished the script. I sent it to Andrea and Mike both, because Mike's ultimately going to letter it. But Mike, tell them what you do when you get the script.
I pretty much hold on to it till I get the art. I mean, I think it might be kind of silly, but I think it makes for better lettering because I'm kind of discovering the story along with the reader. And
so you're not reading it right away. You're waiting until you've got the art, and then you read it along with the art. Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. I think it helps me if I can interpret it. That means that the reader can interpret it, especially with the placement of however Andrea puts it together, and he may have little nuances that I don't want to cover up, and they may add something to Ron's script, and so I just find it's a lot more creative. By reading a script, I get one side of it, but comics is a marriage. Comics is that what I consider that nice, perfect marriage of words and art, and lettering is that glue that puts it together. And I think it just, as far as my workflow, I think it just looks better if I kind of experience them both at the exact same time.
I can't thank Mike enough. I've over the years come to the realization that letterers in a project are the unsung heroes. They really are. We have visuals and we have a script, okay? But it doesn't become a comic book until that letterer puts those captions and balloons right where they need to be, all right? And Mike does that. Of course, the first time I sent out the scripts, I'm waiting desperately to hear my fellow creators' opinions, right? Andrea will get back to me and his Italian passion for what he's doing. Like, I love this. This is great, Ron, blah, blah, blah. And I'm waiting for Mike. And Mike says, oh, I haven't read it yet. Okay. Okay. But then when he explained this process, and I went, yep, that works. Enough so that
makes a great deal of sense to do it that way. Yeah.
And so after we had the artwork for issue 2, which all you comic readers hopefully are going to support and get out there, okay? Then I got a really great letter from Mike shortly after he lettered that issue. And issue 2, I think, moves the story along at a great pace. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Exactly what a second issue should be. It builds on the first issue. It gives us a little bit more fuel to that epic story that you started in the first issue. And then it gives you a little bit more, and you want it, and you want to see what happens next when the last panel rolls around the second issue.
All right. Yeah. Hey, and that's what I hope, all you readers out there are going to find. The Kickstarter started a few days ago, and according to what I've heard and seen at the page itself, we're going to post that link at the bottom of this video. But we made our first quarter. The first 25% of the goals were met that first day. First day. So thank you from the bottom of all our hearts. Yes. Please check it out. It's got a lot of great stuff there. And hey, we brought Rob aboard for several reasons. One being the master technician here who's recording this, but also
trying to figure this out this morning because this is our first attempt at more than two people. But it took us a little bit to get it going. But yeah, Ron wrangled me into doing a special cover for this. When they do these at Silverline, they have special covers. They have extra covers. We've got the original artist. He did his cover, and then they bring in other artists. They've got an A, B, and C. Sometimes as many as 4 different covers. But Ron tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Would you do a cover?" So and so I dug out what was already out there because this was last minute. This is just a few days. I finally found time enough to do this right a couple of days before. So all the other artists who'd done covers had already done theirs. So I'm going, well, I don't want to repeat what they did. But I do want to depict something inside the book. So I looked and saw what was already there and picked there was another action scene inside the book that neither of the other artists had depicted. So I did that. And let me step away from the camera for just a second. I'm going to grab the art. You can probably still hear me. I'm going over to my drawing board here.
Totally.
And
Rob's cover is going to be listed on the campaign as cover C. And I was very happy to learn that our chief honcho, Roland Mann, had found a young gentleman who's now a student at the Joe Coopert School. And his name is Ray Fujiwara. And he's done the B cover, and it's a beautiful piece. So, Rob, yes?
Yeah, let me... Uh-oh. I'm afraid, I may not get to see it all. I may have to drop my background here.
For a sec.
If I can, if it'll let me.
That's okay. It's okay.
Change background.
While you're doing that, let me.
There we go. Now you can see how messy my studio is. But I will cover part of that up with the artwork here, so you can see.
I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's a continuation of what Andrea had done for the primary cover. So when you put them together, it's two ends of that fight scene that happens in the space bar. Hey, look,
and just for information's sake. This one here, I printed out the actual logo cover so I could make sure everything would fit. So I did this and then put this on the light table to do the final penciling. And now Jose, and I'm sorry I forget his last name, is the one inking it. Fuentes, that's right. Thank you. He's the one that inked it, and it's ready. It has not been colored yet that I've seen. But by the time the book is actually out and for everyone to purchase on the Kickstarter, it should be all finished up. But that's
I want to give a tip of that. I love the piece. I want to give a tip of the hat to Mike, who designed that logo, by the way, which I absolutely love. Did a great job with that.
Nicely done.
Hey, look, we're not
just that little strip at the top. Everybody else tends to want to use up like the first half of the page. Logo designers, please just leave us lots of room for art.
Be economical with your space.
There you go.
Exactly.
You said it. That's it. Words of wisdom, my friend. All right. Hey, look, and finally, I do want to also mention I was personally happy when we were paired with Steam Patriots Volume 2. Hopefully, be aware, if you haven't picked up either issues 1 or 2 of these great comics, they will be available to you once you get involved with the Kickstarter and you check us out, all right? So you can get one of Steam Patriots and one of Beyond the Stars. Scott Wakefield and Rory Boyles have really knocked their socks off doing what I think is an amazing concept of steampunk in the American Revolution. Plus,
there are other books from Silverline on there as well. The book that I did with R.A. Jones, Twilight Grim. I'm going to take the opportunity to do a plug, but that's also an add-on that you can add on Yeah, there are several other books that are definitely worth looking at. Cat and Mouse. I hate to say any of them because I'm going to leave somebody out, but there's
right.
Silverline's got a lot of great books. So check out the add-ons, see if you want to add on any of those, and check out the other books from Silverline. And they're doing great things. Silverline's doing great things.
They are. Hey, look, we're going to end this now. I think you're giving us the perfect segue to do that, my friend. Okay.
But I try.
we really appreciate all your support for issue number 1 of both these great comics. All right. And hope you'll join us as the ride continues. So on that note, let's 3, 2, 1. Make mine Silverline.